So. Qualified, certified, and highly extrovertified. Ponspector Dry his name. Survey new lands his game. What brings friends round these parts? Dry secretly follow bird people from far away to near away. And would friends guess it, Dry only go and find bunch of bird people feathers. Dry gasped with emotion. Why? But for one simple reason. With feathers, Dry make winged head hat and become bird person all own self. Or such is plan anyway. For now, Dry still not have enough feathers. Upper level and other side, all picked clean. Should some left on this side.
Ow.
Sorry.
Ow.
Left on this side, maybe. Maybe. Please dream of Dry to become bird person. Please, for sake of Dry. Bring feathers, quickety split. Well, not just stand there. Flock, Dry some feathers. No problem, leave it to me.
Trust in Nopon, Kino, and day will be saved.
Dire music for feather gathering. Appropriate.
Do you know what you accidentally hitting your heel to my knee reminded me of?
But
When I was a kid, do you remember when the doctors would...
Yep, the reflex test.
But guess what?
Yeah?
I was faking it the whole time.
Oh. You have no reflexes.
Well, no.
A terrible shame.
No. It wasn't about the reflexes. I have really amazing reflexes. Have you seen me catch
He
things
hits you in the
without
elbow
even...
and you kick him in the nads.
Wait, what?
It was in a movie or something.
No.
Like a
okay.
comedy movie a long time ago where they hit the kid in the elbow and the kid just like walloped the dude in a sensitive spot.
I always thought that you were just supposed to kick out when you felt the hammer hit you. Like that was just what you're supposed to do, but I didn't realize that it was them trying to trigger a specific reaction that...
Yeah, they don't tell you because you're not supposed to know, so they can test it in an unbiased manner.
But I knew what they wanted, so I just kicked for them.
Yep.
So now I don't know.
I don't think it was a particularly good test, to be honest.
I don't think it really means anything. Why would they... Yeah, so now I feel bad because I'm wondering if there's something wrong with me.
There are many things wrong with you.
What?
Overabundance of cooties. Fortissimo! This finally allowed Dry to make head hat and finally become best friend of bird people. Feathers all collected, land all inspected. Now to be rejoining 1-1. Friends did sterling job with feather findings. Surely can also find 1-1 in 1 GIF, 2 GIF tops. Dry join you with aplomb. 1-1 choose this place for ponspecting on whim. But seems it was inspired choice after all. Maybe slogan we repeat every day is also same kind of deal. 1-1 is spectacular leader. Naturally come up with spectacular catchphrasings. We measure, we find treasure. Ponspectors till we die.
Okay, so how many do we have from each team? Have we even gotten a single red team?
I think that was it, actually.
Oh, Union Strikes. Yeah, by befriending ponspectors from all 3 teams, you've unlocked the ability to perform a special coordinated attack, the Union Strike. Doing so requires spending 3 bars at the party gauge, but it deals damage to enemies in a wide area that has extra effects. There are 3 variations to choose from, each with extra benefits. Red Comet deals major damage to 1 enemy. Blue Caress heal and grant regen and debuff immunity to allies. Yellow Chaos force daze and strength down on enemies in the area.
The more we get, the more damage it does. When you use the Union Strike while all 3 allies are capable of acting freely, an extra chance may occur. Allows you to perform another Union Strike without using the party gauge. Probability of an extra chance occurring is higher the more ponspectors there are in a higher state of tension. For Union Strike, the party's tension will go up, while all ponspectors in a state of high tension will revert to normal. Just gonna kind of look around here for a bit.
We're going to do everything but see who's getting attacked.
I just like listening to this music. Union strike, like they're gonna set up a picket line and yell less work, more wages. I mean, we need more strikes like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading about how
What's that thing?
bench.
Oh, it's a bench. Never mind.
It
It was
doesn't-
just a light.
Doesn't seem like there's anything actually important over here.
No, they really want you to run up the steps and see what's up at the palace.
Ah.
Well, there's some insects flying through the air.
Yep. And the lighting in here is super pretty.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to have all that filtered light from the cracks in the dome.
That would actually be real amusing if they all did just go on strike randomly. That would be such a Nopon thing
I'm pretty
to
sure
do.
they're going to strike against 1-1 when they find out that he's
Probably.
achieved his station through.
Nepotism.
Yep. Well, or just
It's probably
questionable
nepotism.
means.
Nepotism is the word of the decade. That and or corruption.
Oh, my poor knee.
I'm sorry.
Also, Shadow Beast.
Hello.
Over there!
No, is that 1-1? Oh, no, that is a
The
child.
is in danger. Quickly.
For a second, I misread its profile and was like, is that 1-1? But nope.
What's that halo thing?
Are
he
you
has
all
behind
right,
his head?
child? Wait, Teelan.
Ah, Miss Melia. You too, Shulk. How did you...
We can talk later.
It covered in black fluffy mist. So that scary king of fog?
Yeah, maybe so.
Let's give it our all.
Why is the music so loud in these cutscenes? I mean, it's good music, but... Uh-oh.
Snow old house?
Well, this is going to go good, bad. We'll see how this goes.
Well, it said something about damage immunity, but is it because you have Shulk that it can sustain damage?
Interesting question. Oh, we no longer have Monado enchants. Interesting.
Well, you're doing fairly well against this Fog King Phoenix.
Yep. Here we go.
What's going on? Oh, you're going to use the meteor? Bonus damage. Bonus damage.
Yep.
Kaboom! Oh, look at the little sleep.
King of fog all cleared up.
We can only hope. Look! The rift!
It's...
Oh no! Oh no!
Ah! Using a laser again.
That beam!
What about it, Shulk?
That was the same attack that brought down the junks.
Then that would mean...
What is it?
It's got like a handprint on its chest.
It looks like we found our Fog King.
Yes, I would have to agree. What now, Shulk?
We might as well try. Nene,
Understand.
It won't work! You can't even land a scratch on it.
Melia! Kino!
Leave to me, ye faithful of pain!
Begone!
King of fog, bright dust!
It is just as Maxis said then.
Shout!
Melia! Let's pull back!
That would seem wise.
Okay, this should be far enough. Those things can't follow us all the way out here.
Oh? And you're certain of that?
Yeah, sure. The Telethia will keep us safe.
The Telethia will?
Well, that's what Radsum said. Though, I don't think they realize it themselves.
Ah. Right. Your mother was one of the affected.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't thanked you yet. Thanks a million for saving me back there.
Why were you alone in such a place? You could have been hurt.
Sorry, miss.
He get told? Pipe down, Nopon obvious.
I snuck in to gather research material. But then I tripped over some rubble and,
And that's when you were spotted, huh? Were you the one who activated the transporter?
Yeah, I was given special permission, so I could conduct my research. That said, I normally don't go anywhere without Big Sis.
You have a sister.
Well, we're not actually related. We've just been living here together.
If I remember correctly, you wanted to transform Telethia back.
Yeah. Oh, hey! My lab's over on the far end of Zen's thoroughfare. You want to come with? We can talk more there, where it's safe.
You have your own laboratory.
Not as grand as my old one, mind.
We still don't understand the Fog King, or the monster that attacked Teelan. Maybe the Telethia are connected to all this. Teelan's research could help us make sense of it all.
Yes, indeed.
The thing that attacked... Ah, you mean the Fog Beast?
Fog Beast? Is that what you've been calling them around here?
Fog Beasts always appear around the Fog King, so the name seemed appropriate.
Makes sense.
Right, I'll be going on ahead.
You won't be guiding us on the way?
I need to clean up, else there won't be anywhere to stand. All right, see you.
Hey, wait!
He's gone now.
What is it about science boffins? Always doing whatever they please.
Huh?
He get told? He probably have it coming.
A good scolding.
Hehe.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Thrice-damned fools. They think to second-guess the will of the divine.
We already knew he was
He
evil
worships
from
the
start.
fog? Oh, arts coins for art manuals to level up your favorite arts.
Ooh.
You get art coins when defeating unique monsters and fog beasts.
What about coins I've already earned?
Well, that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, first, we got a side quest over here. Let's see.
What was the green dot? There was a green dot on the map.
Those are people?
Hmm.
I think those are usually people.
Who's up there?
You know, high ante woman being
Attacked?
menaced by antols.
Again.
I'll show you my antol. We have many of them. They kind of suck.
You mean the ones outside?
We should probably check to see how dead they are.
Yeah. Our very, very tiny backyard is mostly stone and brick with some garden.
And it's mostly infested with ants now, which should explain a lot.
We only got a couple ants on the first floor, and they only ever come in through the one wall in the bathroom, which isn't connected to the back at all. And after a week of traps, it's perfectly fine. And they only stay in the bathroom. And they're only really interested in water. Because the only ones that ended up in the toilet, well, the only ones that ended up dying there were the ones that went in the toilet. Oh, wait, juicy grass? Oh, she wants stuff for her armus.
Yeah, she was just tending to her armors, but then got grabbed. Okay. I think our main quest's up that direction, so that's where we're gonna go. Let's see. Wonder if you ever played Vampire the Masquerade. I haven't played Vampire the Masquerade. I'm not super into modern
So, I read
gothic fantasy.
I read a bit of Vampire the Masquerade when we had gotten the book from the developers.
Yeah.
And they...
Yeah, we were starting to work on a Vampire the Masquerade-ish campaign.
Yeah.
But then our friend group fractured, so we're just like, alright, throw that in the bin for a while.
Well, the other thing,
haven't
too,
been
is
back.
I was reading about it, and I mean, obviously, everyone being a vampire means that there's instances where you either have to deceive or prey upon people in order to get blood. Because I suppose there are different types of feeding, and one of them is mutual feeding amongst vampires, which is not really considered very kosher. There's vampires that drink the blood of humans, but they usually have to seduce or entice or pay them for it, and it's just gross to me. And then there's also the ones that prey on animals, and then there are the ones that get blood from the blood banks. Like they somehow have a supply of blood that was already pre-extracted from people. Oh, look at them! Kaboom! Look at that, is so cute.
It is very cute. Let's see. That said, I'm much more into like Dungeons and Dragons, Starfinder, and
We tend to like sci-fi fantasy.
yeah,
I wouldn't mind playing a campaign set in a gothic fantasy if you had werewolves, vampires, and knights.
yeah.
And
I
and
would
some
be more
sorcery.
likely to do kind of a Vampire the Masquerade-esque campaign. No, even then, I'd probably rather do like Shadowrun, but I'd be more compelled to do something thematically similar to VTM with D&D mechanics and races and whatnot instead to expand it out a little bit and with less restrictions.
You know, I could imagine gothic fantasy working very well with Lovecraftian eldritch stuff.
Yeah.
Like, those, I think, are genres that could actually be well mixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Just take standard races, classes-ish.
Well, imagine if you had the sort of paranormal beast hunters, werewolves, vampires, and like maybe the vampires are part of some very long-lived familial line or aristocratic family, and maybe they have like a splinter cult that worships some kind of death god that happens to be one of these eldritch horrors. and the werewolves were always more closely associated with like earth nature magic
I mean,
kind of stuff.
I wouldn't even go that far. Make it loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Because I know you like races with themed magic, but that always feels weird.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, for their origins, that's what I'm getting at.
I guess.
You know, because I still think that Gothic horror, it has its own feel and its own essence. You can bring in ghosts and other creatures from folklore, and you can have it go on a almost, I wouldn't necessarily say steampunk tilt. What's the kind of medieval tech that doesn't quite go into steam power, doesn't quite go into, it's not a like clockwork fantasy, right?
Yeah.
There's also like flintlock fantasy. What are other genres? There's varying degrees of technological progress, but you can also have a mixture of magic and alchemy and technology like that.
But I think ultimately it's one of those where it's like, I don't like to play too many different tabletop systems because the rules start becoming difficult to keep track of.
Also, I think the World of Darkness follows the die 10 system with a dice pool and such, which I thought was actually really interesting.
Oh, I'm sure the ideas are interesting. It's just kind of one of those where it's like, I tend to be the DM.
I actually want systems that are simpler than traditional D&D because I'm not really fond of figuring out all the dice rolls and the math, and I know that the computers do it for the most part now, but I care more about the storytelling and the lore rather than combat. With all of the
stuff about wizards, we're kind of considering stepping away from wizards in general. But I think the next two that I'm going to put effort into are Dungeon World at the suggestion of my brother, and Lancer because
mech based.
Yeah, I'm big on mechs, but it's also one of those where it's like it is a massive undertaking to actually put a campaign together, and it's not something that I've put a whole lot of immediate time into, unfortunately. At least not recently. I should probably talk to some of my friends and see if they'd be down. But I'm also writing a book right now.
Everyone's all over the place.
Editing stuff, and yeah, people are all over the place. It's hard.
Qualified, certified, making world more purified. Ponspector Fofora is name, surveying new lands is game. Oh, why you surprised, Fofora, like that? Made Fofora recite whole ponspector spiel, and now survey in big shambles. How friends going to make up for, eh? Hope not thinking can take teensy apology and just walk away. Fofora going to have to ask help with small matter, and then we'll let friends off proverbial fishhook.
Could you go into more detail?
Kino want to ask too. So friends will listen? Oh, goody. Before our new friends were citizens of upstanding moral character. A small matter of his nuisance, Cromar, another side of Zen's thoroughfare. Right-hand side, they keep getting in way of Fofora. Fofora is still busy mapping out areas, so would be giant help if friends could remove Cromar from picture, please?
The interesting thing is, isn't this where you have to go through to the lab?
Yeah. I'm just curious because I don't see them at all on the...
The crowbar?
Yeah. I've got something over there. There we go. Oh no, it is there. It just wasn't marked.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? Writing book? Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today, there was a,
hey, there's a guy that has a quest.
Yep.
Or a lady. A guy.
Yeah. The ID tag. Yep. His brothers.
Oh, wait, what?
And hand it over or keep it. Keep it? Hand it over.
If this fell from a somnivore?
Yeah, he was fighting his nemesis. Let's see. So he wants us to go find a bangle.
Mm-hmm.
So just go find it.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, so 2 weeks ago was the Twitch blackout, because there were so many people... Well, I mean, there were so many allegations coming out at that time, and it was kind of a sort of small movement of solidarity for people that are silenced due to... I mean, honestly, just like a lot of really crappy people in positions of power. I could get further into it, but effectively, I took the day off, which I need to do more of, just because. And so as part of that, I decided I would run effectively, because I'm between D&D campaigns, I figured I'd effectively run a D&D campaign with one character, and people would just kind of vote and contribute suggestions for what the character would do.
You had started a webcomic a long time ago where you were taking suggestions
Yeah,
for what your
the problem with that
do.
was it was just a lot more work and very slow progress.
Because doing a piece of artwork is definitely time consuming. I not to say that writing isn't time consuming, but I feel like
You can make so much
easier.
more progress so much faster when writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
And like a picture can tell 1,000 words, but I would have to do like illustrations and writing to really make that work. And that is something that I will consider at some point, maybe when I have even more free time. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But so started effectively just doing it as a series of Twitter polls. Problem is, people have been dropping off real hard on like voting for it.
Also, it becomes unmanageable to sift through all the tweets.
Yep.
And you can only write so much in a tweet.
I actually found that restriction quite helpful, interestingly enough. Because it meant that I always had to effectively contain a thought sentence or micro paragraph in a very self-contained manner, which made it very easy to stick with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas normally when you're just staring at a blank piece of paper, lengths, I don't know, it can... the restriction, I guess, provided some stability.
Meh? Cromar, toast! Big hooray! Now Fofora free to continue with surveying unhindered. What? Thought Fofora was busy in middle of surveying. Where friends get that idea? Such silly dumbs. No, Fofora just going out to ponspector now. But friends did very speedy job, and Fofora give credit where credit is due. We'll prepare a handsome reward later, so come by and Fofora will deliver personal. Fofora think a venture further afield, beyond even den of Cromar that friends fend off. Say hello when friends next feel inclined, okay? Ta-ta now!
Anywho, so at this point I've stopped doing it as a Twitter poll. Oh god dang it, she's just on the other side. Time to go back. But so, I've stopped doing the Twitter polls, and now I'm just writing the rest of it. And it's going to be like a novella, 60, 80 pages. The Twitter polls, I think, were about 40 total. But so it's effectively about a young artificer, adventurer kind of girl who's stumbled into effectively the upper layer of the Underdark. Though, I'm going to try and have it be my own thing so it's legally distinct, because then I'm going to have to... I don't want to have to contend with, like, Wizards of the Coast.
Well, realistically, if you're doing generic fantasy, you shouldn't have to rely on
somebody else's
their
thing. Yeah.
world and their IP.
And so, so it's effectively just kind of like,
I don't know. I'm trying to evoke the same feeling as like one of my D&D campaigns, but without actually having to have players. And maybe I will bring the polls back somehow, but I think I'm going to have to do a format change, just because...
Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is wherever you post things, you have to worry about people apparently just taking them and publishing them on Amazon.
I'm sure that'll be an issue. I've got like an abrasion on my left elbow, and so every time you toss the blanket over me, it actually kind of hurts.
Fofora was able to ponspect the whole area without hitch. Again, work of friends was much appreciated. Incidentally, Fofora might have another tiny incy request. It involved escorting Fofora personally to Chief 11. Chief 11 is chief of whole ponspector squad. Said Shoulder of Bionis is ripe for treasure pickings. If stick around for long enough, Fofora could be rich beyond wildest dream. Oh, Fofora can almost smell the fame. It not excite friends too? Believe Fofora. All become clear once friends hear. Straight from mouth of chief. Okay, Fofora will keep friends company until able to meet chief. Please to treat Fofora in manner to which Fofora is accustomed.
Yeah, so everyone wants to go see this Chief 11 or Woon.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're all his underlings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So he wants to find treasure here, then.
Out of curiosity, seeing as I was talking about writing...
people is talking about the voice acting is wonderful. Oh, thank you. That was me.
Yep. We've had some people get kind of upset at games because they weren't voice acted after hearing our playthroughs, not realizing that it was us.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like, I had somebody be like, I actually returned this because I thought the voice acting was in the game.
Oh.
And so now I'm back to watch your playthrough instead.
Oh.
Yep.
I see.
I thought that was amusing and kind of sad.
I mean, we make mistakes when we voice act.
Yeah, some people don't pick up on that.
And we do stop mid-sentence and talk about things, too.
Yeah. It was probably one of the ones that we were more focused.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask this, though, for people still hanging out. It's a bit of a light night, but does anybody read web serials, and, like, where do you read them? Because, like, I'll probably put together, like, a blog thing or something as kind of my main place of posting it. Maybe, probably.
People are saying Royal Road web novel.
Yeah, I know about Royal Road. I haven't heard of... Well, I've heard of web novel. I don't know much about that one.
People have heard bad things about web novel. I mean, the unfortunate thing with most sites is that they're... Nowadays, nothing is... I don't want to say nothing is safe, but it's one of those things where I've heard that definitely with... Oh, what was it? There was a fan fiction site that a lot of people used.
Might be Wattpad? Wattpad?
No. It wasn't Wattpad. It was something called AO3. I remember reading specifically... Or it was... I think it was AO3 or something along those lines. But people would put their fan fictions or short stories or things on there. And people have been finding that increasingly there are individuals who will just scrape a bunch of things together, even Reddit stories, and just throw them up on Amazon as paid, books. And it's detestable.
Qualified, certified, through patience, or though patience is severely tried, ponspector hekasa is name, surveying new lands is game. But cannot certify in these conditions if friends have stakes, if not have stakes, not equipped to do job. Friends must hear lament of hekasa. To go into more detail.
You can speak freely. Shulk is a very good listener.
In order for measure elevation of point, hekasa drive stakes for use as markers. But when come back finally measure, stake is missing, and this recurrent issue starting to go beyond joke. And hekasa double triple check if securely driven in, so no blaming slip of mind or gust of wind or other guff, capiche? Sorry, hekasa, just eager to get quota done. We'll watch from high ground, so friends acquiesce to put stake back in. See stake with red top on left bank of lake? That one all fine. Problem is elsewhere. Keep up. There's tree on bank that neighbors bank with stake on it. Please plant stake in area under tree. No problem. Leave it to me.
Huh. You have to plant a stake? For
Yep.
what?
One of the surveyor markers, I guess. I'm gonna
mhm.
see if I can get a fast route of the location. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long walk back to this guy. Let's see. Yeah, because I read web novels, web serials on Royal Road. And so that'd probably be the one that I would end up defaulting to if I were to post it anywhere. I know that there are a lot of people in places that will steal stuff, so what I'd probably do is, like, somewhat aggressively keep an eye out for it. And then also, you know, try and preempt it by just putting my own stuff up there constantly.
Hmm. Now, I wonder... Yeah, I always felt bad. My friends would really liked reading fan fiction, and I think they read this one that was... It was as though someone had taken an anime, I forget which anime, but they rewrote it in such a way that the characters were in a school setting. And I didn't really understand the appeal of something like that, but my friends loved it. And I felt so bad because I went, wait, so this person who wrote these is really popular for this series, but they'll never actually be able to truly monetize their work because they're using someone else's IP. Why not just create your own high school drama, but with unique characters that are your own?
I think it's one of those where people kind of crave that slice of life for the characters that they have.
I know that a lot of people write fan fiction because then it's easier for them to envision like their own characters and circumstances in the same world, and they don't have to go through all the work of the world building and figuring everything out and the political intrigue and even the characters themselves.
But even beyond that, like when watching or reading or playing a game and you have these beloved characters that you really enjoy and then the plot's over but you still want to feel that connection to them,
yeah,
that's kind of where fan fiction also feels real good.
Qualified, certified, bold and center justified. Ponspector Faifa's name. Surveying new lands is game. Surveying? Pfft. Faifa take care of that ages ago. Now Faifa is busy with detailed breakdown of local ecosystem. Meh? Should be prioritizing actual work. But Faifa will be done soon. Only 52 species more to document. Ah, how about if friends can solve brain teasers of Faifa will finish up research and resume duties. Riddles are like game and hobby rolled into one complex analogy. Life too short not to play metagame. Listen well. Faifa need things as follows. I drift, I dig, I not so big, I sink, I rise. But where are my eyes? Don't answer. Hey!
Oh, sorry.
I was going to... Here, okay, so collect an item that drifts and digs, but has no eyes. What drifts and digs but has no eyes?
Sky
Wait,
mole.
a sky mole? Oh, but we never even got to inspect the thing.
Well,
Oh, you brought Sky Mole to Faifa. Such darling little claw paws. Yes, indeed, Sky Mole is going to make excellent research specimen. Now then, here is final riddle of Faifa. What monster have color of harmless plant, but is highly ferocious? Find which creature and defeat. Faifa will be watching closely from right here. So make sure friends really defeat creature, because Faifa can smell liar from a mile away. All friends go then. Faifa will be observing.
So it's something that's green? That's close by? That we can kill?
Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure it's one of those exclamation marks just flying around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I suppose there have been some people that were able to switch around their fan fictions enough so it became their own thing. Like, what was it? 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fan fiction? What were other things? I mean, I still attest to the fact that I noticed that in your Discord earlier, people were talking about the inheritance cycle. And I was just simmering to myself because the first 2 books were essentially Star Wars, the original trilogy, but with Jedi Knight dragon riders and, you know, the same farm boy whose, you know, uncle is killed and gets taken away by an old man who used to work with his father, and you know what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many more similarities, but yep. And to think that we were, what, 7 years old when that came out, and everyone was going, wow, look at this guy, he's 15 and he wrote these books.
Was he 7?
Huh?
Was he 7?
He was 15.
Yeah,
But I
thought
think
we were older than 7.
I thought that I was still in elementary school, so I must have been at least under 10.
I mean, you were at elementary school till you were 12.
Till I was 11. I mean, I suppose you can look it up. No, you're right. It probably wasn't until 4th grade, now that I think about it. So maybe we were 9? 9 or 10.
Okay. 2001.
Oh.
So we
then
were 11.
We were 10 or 11, yeah.
Okay, so the answer was his parents saw the final manuscript and decided to self-publish it, seeing as they were already publishers
Right,
of a
right.
sort.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't get that much of a following. So in 2003, in 2003 it was
Reprinted?
yeah, republished by Nop or whatever it is. Gosh, this is a problem.
This is a problem. There are too many Perna Lucas.
Yeah, and they keep bumping into me, which actually turns out to be a bit of an issue. Let's see. So yeah, the reason why it seemed like it was actually a middle school thing is largely due to the fact that
I remember it in elementary school.
yeah. So you might have heard of it back when it was initially published, but for most people, they didn't hear about it until after.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, unfortunately, it was one of those where I was trying to look it up, and I hate this about a lot of books, that the movie is always somehow more popular or something.
Well, they made the first movie and it did so poorly in the box office, they're never going to touch it again.
16% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just bad.
It reminds me of when they tried to do the Golden Compass trilogy as well, and they only
Yeah.
made it to the first movie.
Yeah, I don't even remember the Golden Compass. Wait, no. In retrospect, I remember the Golden Compass movie being terrible.
Then then again, the Golden Compass itself was dark. And
It was dark, but like it started super strong, and then the ending was just dumb and
They got
bad.
an all-star cast for that too. They had Nicole Kidman, they had Daniel Craig, they had Ian McKellen.
Suelo Oruga. He's so
Wait,
big.
Suelo?
He's so big.
But no, we've been experiencing that a lot lately. I still want to see it at some point just to understand what it is, but that Mortal Engines movie was supposed to be the next big trilogy that Peter Jackson was supposed to undergo, and the first one did terribly, and so there's likely never going to be a second, or however many the books.
I mean, I think
are.
the issue with Peter Jackson is, everybody remembers his
Lord
like,
of the Rings.
well, Lord of the Rings, but like even Peter Jackson, probably specifically remembers the biggest and the best scenes, and forgets why the Lord of the Rings was good beyond that. You can't just have, big, bombastic, high importance things happening all the time. You really did need those slow moments. And I noticed this with The Hobbit, but they got rid of a lot of the slow, quiet, peaceful but interesting moments, and replaced them all with big, bombastic scenes that were fun to watch, but ultimately dragged the whole thing down.
I think that's just common with movies nowadays. Having grown up with very, very old movies, I think black and white era films.
A lot of them were boring, though. Like, it is a tough balance to make. But no, don't hate me. It's true.
Hey, at least they had those moments of quiet and character building in those films. Though also, if you go back to old films, people talked fast. What do they call it? The mid-Atlantic accent, and all the quips and all the dialogue was swift, 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 swift.
Oh, Faifa watched spectaculant takedown of Tree Ferris. Faifa was standing right here, but was with friends in spirit. Also gained tremendous insight into ecology of Ferris. Scientific breakthrough or two is sure to be on the horizon. But as promised, Faifa will return to duties now. But wait, a single nanosecond. This not time for dally-dillies. Faifa have pressing question for Chief 1-1. Before Faifa get here, Archaeology Center raided by unknown assailant. It seems some kind of memo went missing, and Faifa have strong sneaking suspicion of culprit identity. Faifa found Chief not far from scene of crime, looking with extreme shifty eye, awfully suspicious of friends asked Faifa. It not matter that Chief is Chief. Criminals must get serving of comeuppance. We'll get to bottom of this, Faifa swear.
That's right, Faifa. You're right. We know that chief is suspicious. We know he is.
Meh? Where can find other ponspectors? Faifa make precisely one educated guess. The friends should try looking there.